We've been calling them a second half team all season, and once again it proved true, but now we get to call them Big Ten champions. All know how much fans get into this rivalry game, with it essentially dividing the state. Penn State's historic season continues with a record-setting NCAA tournament debut. Penn State scored their most goals ever, forcing Union to give up their most. Everyone's focus obviously was on this stadium, but before any renovations take place on Beaver Stadium, it's going to start on other sports facilities. Penn State proved they had all the talent they needed to win big games last year. They just couldn't remain consistent, but now they bring maturity and experience to the floor. Hostile, rowdy, loud, those are just a few adjectives to describe Ohio Stadium, famously known as the Shoe. This has kind of been your summer with all the attention that's been following you as well as the team. So I got to ask you, how do you make sure you savor that attention but keep your focus and your humility where you want it to be?
Just be appreciated.
And the Pens are looking good heading into Game 3 as they move the series to Nashville, bringing a 2-0 lead to Bridgestone Arena. And the Pens have truly stepped up as the Stanley Cup veterans that they are. Pittsburgh fans got into baseball season today, but some big news came out of the Burgh as well for football fans. Big Ben is back. There was some players that you guys lost, but you talked about some talent that's going to be here. What expectations do you have with this group?
Yeah, we're really excited, Kari.
For both teams this year, it's about making it one step further in state playoffs and making it past that opening round. And unlike for me, it's going to take a lot more skill than it will luck. Penn State will soon be playing for a Big Ten championship in the same city where 4 years ago the NCAA brought about sanctions that cast a shadow over the new era of the football program. The team has spent time since 2012 trying to bring positive attention back to the program, and Saturday could be the biggest step out of the darkness. Playing for a Big Ten championship doesn't cover up the scar that is forever etched into Penn State's history, but it does reflect that this program has moved forward, exactly what head coach James Franklin wants to focus on.
For a long time, we've been talking at Penn State about what it was, with great respect of what Penn State was in the 80s with the national championships and all the wonderful things, graduation rates, all these kind of things. I grew up with that, hearing about it. Coming here, I've heard about that. And I think it's special. Probably the first time in a long time people talk about what Penn State is.
A football program that thrived for many years will soon have a chance to earn its first conference championship since 2008. And to prove what this youthful team wants to represent now.
It's funny, I used to hear players all the time talk about, we want to get this program back to what Penn State was. And most of them weren't born then. So I do think it's significant that we're at a time in our history where people are talking about what we are, what we currently are.
For the seniors who stuck with the program amid all the negativity, they also have a chance to do what they always sought out to do: leave the program better than they found it.
The senior class kind of talking about the last 4 or 5 years and the low points and stuff like that. Eventually we got to get past all that and just talk about, the future, the now, I should say, and just being successful, Obviously, this is a big moment going to the Big Ten championship, and I feel like for the future of Penn State players, this is going to be a recurring thing.
Standing on the stage with, the guys that stuck around after we won the game this past weekend, I put that Big Ten East championship hat on, and we just kind of we're reminiscing a little bit, but our work's not done.
These Nittany Lions know their impact on the field is felt far beyond Beaver Stadium.
Our fans have been through a lot. And for them to kind of see us having the success that we're having this season, they deserve it just as much as we do. We appreciate them, just sticking by our side through some adversity.
To make all the Penn Staters around the world, all the lettermen, really, really proud of how, not only how we've played all year, but how we're going to compete on Saturday.
A win on Saturday doesn't mean Penn State has made the complete turnaround just yet, but it does mean that this season will go down in history. And either way, this team has helped reinvigorate the motto of the blue and white, and that's "We Are." Just about every minor leaguer is waiting for their shot to make it to the majors, and that's no different for the players of the St. Louis Cardinals affiliate, the State College Spikes. But there is one kid making a difference for these players, reminding them to make the most of their time, even if it's just for a short season.
It's Josiah Vieira, everybody.
When you think of Josiah, many words come to mind.
Tenacity.
Inspirational.
He's a winner. He's just a winner.
But you really can't sum him up.
One word would not even come close to even describing him.
Josiah is battling progeria, an extremely rare disease that rapidly increases a person's age, with an average life expectancy of only 13 years. And at the age of 13, Josiah continues to exceed expectations.
We always said God gave him back to us for a reason, because he should not be alive. He should be not here. We're starting to see the fruits of what I believe, God's doing in his life.
A lot of that has to do with baseball.
I just won the game.
A love that has bonded him with the two-time championship-winning State College Spikes.
We would have never dreamed in 1,000 lifetimes we'd ever be sitting here in a professional baseball stadium. I never thought that it would spread this far.
I don't think it's coincidence that he's on the team and it's a championship team.
Come on, Joe!
I said, well, you're the honorary bench coach of the State College Spikes. No, Pappy, not anymore. I am the bench coach. He goes,
He takes the lineup out with me every night he's here, and he sits in the dugout and he cheers and he gives guys pats on the back. He's just, he's a special person. He really is.
It's like a family.
Baseball is timeless. So is Josiah's impact, something these players feel well beyond a short season.
Attaboy, Joe. If you're going through a tough time, Josiah's going through a much tougher time than you are. You're struggling compared to Hill. Josiah has got a lot more on his plate than you do, and he seems to come out here every day with a smile on his face, so why can't you?
For most of these players, a journey to the majors may be long, but if there's one thing they can learn from their young coach, it's not about how much time you have, it's about what you do with it.
We go out and play every day, and we take a lot of things for granted. Not everyone gets to do it, especially him. And but he's doing it. He's doing it with us. So that's the biggest inspiration for me, is to every day go out there and give it my all.
Josiah can't be described in just one word, but as he reflects on his time with the Spikes, he has one in mind.
2 championships, 3 titles. Get me a Walker in Jersey. Absolutely.
Really, it's Josiah making life special for so many others. In State College, Kari Osep, 6 Sports. Lacrosse, fast, intense,
Good job, D.
exciting. So I wanted to give it a try, and who better to learn from than one of the best teams in the country? And Penn State let me practice with them.
I know my form looks bad, right? I know. I'm like, I'm done, right?
And that was just the warm-up. Now it's time to learn a few stick skills. Got the basics, then comes the tricks.
And you gotta get your arm up. Yeah. And out. And
now
like, get your arms away from your body.
These are legit lacrosse players, you can tell. I don't fit in.
But now it's time to move on to shooting. And they make it look so easy, right?
Woo! Help me!
First you don't succeed, maybe try something that's slightly illegal but still works.
Got it?
Yes, Coach Doherty is referring to me.
Probably can't do the thing where you grab the ball with your hand and just throw it in with your hand.
So I didn't do great with offensive drills. Maybe I can try some defense?
Wait! I don't even know who has the ball. Woo! Kind of losing track of the ball. What do you guys, like the speed of the game, how do you introduce yourself to that, especially on defense?
Yeah. Honestly, point with one finger where the ball is, or like use your stick and point with the ball, and then your other hand's where the girl is.
Get in there,
okay.
Work hard,
Got it.
Make things happen. Right?
Okay, thanks, Coach.
I guess I'm ready to scrimmage.
Ooh, there we go, there we go.
And did I mention how big this field is?
I think that was my man. I like do one run and I'm like, okay.
Hard.
Yeah.
We also condition a lot. So.
I know, we can tell, it's great. Oh, gosh.
The once an athlete, always an athlete principle didn't apply here, but there's one thing I have to do before retiring my stick and goggles, at least for Brett and Jordan.
And I'm gonna score for you guys. Maybe.
Time to ask for some help.
You know what you're doing.
Put your arms like this.
Okay.
Right, and you're gonna step and just follow through.
Placement over power.
Needs some work, but maybe there's a spot for me on the team.
We want to explore that danger aspect of, you know, the shots and the ground ball pickups with one hand. But once we get those dangerous things done with, I think, you know, you're definitely a great prospect for us.
Okay, you guys heard it here. I'll be on the team next year, but thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Great to have you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3. Champions!
The future Nittany Lion, Kari Osep, is signing off.